LMNT and other hydration powders can run anywhere from $1 to $1.50 per serving. So I started making them at home with stuff that I bought from a local store, and I'm gonna show you how to make it for 40 cents a serving in this video. So I've been drinking a lot of hydration supplements because it's really hot here in Texas and I sweat a lot, and my girlfriend also runs and sweats a lot. So I wanted to make this at home. So I found a recipe that LMNT posted on their own website with a breakdown of the ingredients they use and sort of in the proportions they have in each serving. So I ran that through ChatGPT, and with a little trial and error, I have a pretty solid recipe for an LMNT clone, and I wanted to show you how to do it so that you can also save a bunch of money if this is something that you tend to buy. So what is a hydration supplement? Well, it's just a mixture of salts and some flavoring so that it is tasty whenever you pour it into your beverage of choice, usually just water, and it helps replenish the minerals that your body sweats out, or at least that's what they say. I've heard mixed reviews on whether it works or not, but to be honest, we feel good drinking them, so we like to drink them often, especially if we're gonna be working out in the sun. For this recipe, you're gonna need magnesium malate, potassium chloride, good old sea salt, citric acid, stevia for sweetness, and some sort of freeze-dried fruit. I've got strawberries here. So let's talk about the ingredients a little bit. First of all, the magnesium malate and the potassium chloride they're pretty generic. I bought all of this stuff from natural grocers, so if you have a natural grocer in your town, definitely go there. Whole Foods or other stores that have natural supplement stuff will most likely have these ingredients, or you can order them all online on Amazon. This potassium chloride came in a powder form, so that's perfect. This magnesium malate did not come in a powder form, it's in pills, so I'm gonna have to process this, and I'll show you that in just a moment. The sea salt, this is Redmond sea salt. This is just real ancient kosher sea salt. Really, it's just fancy sea salt, but I got it because it's a little more bougie, a little more fancy, makes me feel better about myself when I drink it. Citric acid, again, this is a powder, but it is just the acid that's found in like citrus fruit. So pretty simple, straightforward stuff. And the freeze-dried fruit element, this is strawberries again. Freeze-drying is a process of removing liquid or water from an item by freezing it, and the water vaporizes. Anyways, it's all scientific stuff I'm not gonna get into, but basically it removes the water from this and you're left with this crunchy piece of fruit. All this stuff together can be found for around 50 bucks. You can buy it online for cheaper, but just go into the store. I got all this for about 50 bucks. You also need some sort of portioning container, and I chose this little pill container that I got at Walgreens. This was like $7, but super cool to portion these out and have one for every day of the week. So let's get into it and let's make a batch. Oh, before I forget, you're also gonna need a scale to portion this stuff out. You do want accurate measurements, and it's just best to have grams instead of using like tablespoons or stuff like that. So definitely a nice scale, and you're gonna need a mortar and pestle or a molcajete, but we will need to process some of this stuff into a powder form. All right, first things first, we need to process these magnesium malate pills because, again, they came in pill form and I just need to crush them up. It is pure magnesium malate though. Don't get stuff that isn't just pure magnesium malate as the main ingredient, because there will be a bunch of other additives. You want just the magnesium malate salt. So we're gonna dump a handful in here and we're just gonna get to pounding. All right, this is looking pretty good. Nice powdered form. You can spend a little extra time on this because there may be some extra big clumps in there that aren't broken up, or you could just sift this through a nice fine sieve so that you get all those larger pieces out. But that's looking good. Transfer that to another bowl. Next, we're gonna do the same thing with the sea salt. It's naturally pretty coarse, as you can see, so we just wanna make it a nice fine powder so that it mixes well with water and dissolves. Same process, we just want to get this nice and fine. All right, it's looking pretty good. Pop this into a bowl, set that aside. Last but not least, we need to process this freeze-dried strawberry. This pack happens to be the exact amount that we need, which is 12 grams. So we're just gonna toss the whole thing in there. I also like to take a little bit of the salt and sprinkle it in there for some abrasiveness. And that looks pretty good. We're gonna leave this in here because we'll end up mixing it all together in this mortar and pestle. So I'm gonna put this to the side. Damn, I got a little sweat worked up. getting in our lifts today. So, recipe time. So, our recipe for this LMNT clone is as follows. 37 grams of sodium chloride, sea salt, 6 grams of potassium chloride, 9 grams of magnesium malate, 13 grams of citric acid, 12 grams of the strawberry powder, which is what the size of that package was, and 8 grams of stevia. And these stevia packets are 1 gram, so we're gonna use 8 packets. Bowl. Gonna tear that out. Sodium chloride first, 37 grams. Magnesium malate, 9 grams. Potassium chloride, 6 grams. Citric acid, 13 grams. And the stevia packs. 2, 4, 6, 8. Bring back our strawberry. Add in our measured ingredients and mix her up. And now we have a beautiful LMNT clone hydration powder at home for 40 cents a serving. And last but not least, we need to portion them. So each serving is about 6 grams. So we're gonna put 6 grams of this powder that's nice and mixed up into each of these containers. There's one. And the last one. Yes, I know that there's some on the scale. And that's okay. It's a happy little mistake. All right, last one. There we have 7 days worth right here. And that's it. Pretty simple. Let's try it. So here we've got a glass of water. This is straight from the tap. And we're gonna put 1 portion into this water. It kind of clumps up. And it requires quite a bit more stirring than the LMNT would. Cheers. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. It's good. This is actually pretty close in flavor to the LMNTs. I know LMNT doesn't have strawberry, but this is a solid flavor and has a good amount of citric acid and sugar, but it's not overwhelming. It is still salty because it's mostly salt. So there's a couple things about this. One, we're using real freeze-dried fruit as opposed to a sprayable fruit flavor. So it does rehydrate and reconstitute into fruit particulate. So it's got little floaties in there. Another thing is the grinding of the sea salt and the magnesium malate is not the best work that I've done. So there are some larger particulate in here and some of that salt does precipitate to the bottom. But for the most part, it gets dissolved in this solution and tastes pretty good. The other thing to note is that this is a homemade version, obviously. And so it does tend to get, especially in a hotter, more humid climate, it does tend to get grainier and the strawberries will kind of hydrate even in these little containers. So it isn't like a nice, fine, dry powder for a very long time. As long as you make this and consume it within, a couple of weeks or whatever, it should be fine past that. But just generally speaking, it doesn't look like a nice fine powder, but you can still stir it and get your hydration that way. Another thing to note, this is a recipe for 12 servings. I only portioned 7 days out because these are a 7-day pill portioner thing. So there's only 7 vessels. So I just put the rest of this into a container, a Tupperware container, and I keep it in the cabinet and then I'll just refill these whenever they're empty. And so as far as the cost breakdown, the ingredients were roughly $50, but you can make many, many batches with all of these, obviously, and it works out to be around 46 cents per serving. Surprisingly enough, this stuff is a significant portion of the cost. This is the second most expensive portion. It makes up for about $1.20 of the total recipe cost. But the main offender is this guy, the freeze-dried strawberries. Again, I bought all of this stuff straight off the shelf to show that you can just go to the store and grab it. But if you can find a bulk container of freeze-dried raspberry or whatever the fruit that you choose to make it with, it will most likely be significantly cheaper because this stuff is like $2.40 a bag. So like the entire $2.40 is the majority of the cost in this whole recipe. If this wasn't in it, it'd be like 10 cents a serving. So do with that what you will. This is my first CPG hack, as I call it, making these products at home cheaper than you can buy it at the store. So if you're interested in this kind of content, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. If you try this recipe out, leave a comment below, let me know. But I really enjoy it. I've been drinking this pretty much daily for the last week and I'm gonna keep making it. Till next time. Wow. How's that for timing? My light just died. Peace.